Chatting with Chad, June 25th, 2025. Joining me today is Chad. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Good. Yeah, those guys just like popped up, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days ago on Twitter. Like I just started seeing them everywhere, and I was completely in from the moment I saw it. And all their videos are just them like $1 million Minifans said that could be Chad's O face. Sure, my O face. O. Uh, David Bastida says, "Hey Luke, or hey David, how you doing?" He also said, "What's up, Chad?" Which is nice of
Thanks for
him.
joining.
But yeah, I love those guys. All they do is they play the music and then like they drink like martini, like cocktails and stuff, and smoke cigarettes and joints, and they look very European. So that's cool. I think I looked up one of them's Italian, and then the one that I had your face on is Italian, which you can tell when you see his actual face. Then the guy that I had my face on is from Germany. He's more just like a white guy. But I suppose, honestly, the Italian guy I would really consider white. He's definitely Sicilian, if you know what I mean. Maybe
Or,
Napoli Don.
or eggplant.
For yeah, so what's going on? And it's been about, I don't know, has it been a few weeks since we did the last chatting with Chad? I can't remember the exact date. I can look it up real quick.
It's been almost a month probably since we did this one.
I,
But I think
I'd
I
be
was
willing
on
to bet that as well.
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
How's baseball? Is it going still?
It's going. We just had an out of state tournament in Wisconsin. Boys lost in the semifinals to a AAA team, but
It's
it's
not
good.
bad. Brando said Chad showing off those boulder shoulders.
Yep. Also, the 96 Bulls championship 4-peat cutoff. You know,
May 31st was the last one, so 3 weeks ago.
it's only like a
That's
30-year cutoff,
yeah. Was that yours, or did you buy that at a thrift
It's,
store or something?
have had it kicking around, and also it's the draft tonight, so festive, right? Not that I couldn't tell you the first thing other than Cooper Flag's going number one, but I saw it was the draft tonight,
Yeah.
and I was out
I
there.
do like that the NBA draft is so soon after the finals. I kind of wish, like, wouldn't it be sweet if the Super Bowl was like, you had the Super Bowl, then a week later it was the NFL draft? I know it doesn't really, I don't know.
It's crazy. The hockey guys are even more nuts. It's like the hockey season just ended, and
Hockey,
it's like
hockey's a little different though,
it
because
starts again in like 90 days or some shit.
you
Like
you would know you would know better than I do. Like, how often does a guy go from getting drafted to like the NHL, like immediately? It's got to be
it's
less.
crazy.
I would bet it's less frequent than MLB even,
I really don't
because
know. I, I
because
think you're right.
they do like the Canadian Junior Hockey League has a draft, and like those guys are like 20, and then it's kind of like the CFL too, where like they draft all these Canadian guys, and I don't know. I guess it's not really like the CFL, but
Juniors, like they
yeah.
got the World Juniors, they got yeah.
How about Chase Burns? By the way, I don't know if you saw that at all. What a debut!
Right. He just came in, started mowing everybody down like he's been there before. I loved it. So good
They
for the
had him
Red.
on the taxi squad, I believe, which would have enabled them to just send him down and not to use an option on him, just give him a shot to play. But you got to keep him up after that. Like he's ready
Good for the Reds,
against
man.
the Yankees, nonetheless.
Right.
Yeah.
Came
I
in
think in
mowing
New
down
York.
Judge like he's been pitching.
Yeah,
You know what though is, as you well know, or baseball nerds probably know, um, you do tend to have more success younger in the league because there's no scouting report on you
yeah.
really. Right?
Nobody's seen him
Like
yet.
they don't have like they don't know everything you're gonna do. Like eventually they start that out. So even the young guys coming up, they'll rake for a couple weeks
Oh
because they're
yeah,
hitting mostly fastballs, and then they figure out what they can't hit, and then they start
yeah.
struggling.
Luis
It's the
Robert.
same way with pitchers. Yeah, exactly. So
Luis Robert was pretty. And then that's baseball too. It's a constant battle between the pitchers and the catcher or the batters. They figure out the pitch. The pitchers figure out the batter, and then the batter does something different, and then they got to figure them out again and all that.
dude,
So
the whole game is like analytics nerds now. It's
yeah,
wild. It really
which is why
is.
baseball's. I like baseball. It's my
I actually
favorite.
kind of appreciate that too. I really do. Yeah.
It's just more interesting. I also like that everything that can possibly happen in baseball has already happened before. Yeah, I can't say that guy's name. Misarovsky.
Misurowski's having a good start. Caliglione's been Caglianone or whatever the hell.
Is it a Caglianone or something?
Caglianone for the
Jack.
Royals.
Yeah,
He's having
I thought.
a great start.
Oh, is he? I thought he was getting sent back down or something.
I don't think so. I think he's been pretty good for the Royals. And then
I've not been paying that close of attention.
For the Cubs now, Pete Crow Armstrong did that
last
year. He came up. Like he's a second year this year, but he came up last year. It was great for the Cubs, and now he's an everyday player.
Maybe I'm thinking about Roman Anthony. Is he struggling?
He's very new for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yes, he just
he struggled a little bit
last month. Yeah, right.
Yeah, hot sister. Remember?
Yes.
I
saw some ladies on Twitter that were all like, "Stop this."
Yeah. I saw that today with the AT&T lady from the commercials.
Yes,
they were like, "You guys ran her off the internet." And I'm like, "Shut up, stop."
Didn't she have a baby or something?
Probably, yeah.
Vayner
She's
True
Ukrainian too.
Yeah. She's a
Ukrainian Jew, I believe. How'd you like? Speaking of that, how'd you like that Trump clip? Neither one knows what the fuck they're doing. That was great.
It's the best Trump clip I've seen in a while. Finally got a good one, you know.
Jeep says he's getting contact, just not getting on base.
Yeah.
I think that was the maddest. That was the angriest I've seen Trump, I think. Which
I mean, lots about take it any way.
It's such a
really trying to.
I was just saying, it's such like a made up bullshit war.
Well, of course it is. But he's really trying to thread. I think he really thinks like he decides, like, all right, I'll give Israel what they want. You know, I'm going to screw over Iran, and then I'm going to make them make a deal with that. And as soon as they make the deal, ceasefire is everything we got anyway, because we never wanted peace.
Yeah.
When we was negotiating peace the first time was when they were literally had Trump deal, and then fucking Netanyahu's going ape shit on Iran, because they've never actually fucking wanted peace. They wanted to topple Iran for the last 35 fucking years. So
he's obsessed with trying to get a deal there. He wants to get a deal. He thinks he can do it, but the problem is neither one of them negotiates in good interest. They're both retarded fucking children, is what they are. So.
Right. So
they need to just let them play in their sandbox by themselves. And I bet the missiles stop pretty quickly too once you realize the United States isn't going to get involved. You got to actually pay for it yourself.
I sent you that clip, and maybe I don't know when we want to bring that up. The screen recording.
Which one? Which clip? The first
clip I sent you of the screen recording of Dave Smith, and. Let's roll this real fast.
No, but now that it's happened, I think it's really important to hit this home again. Number one, there is something very revealing. Like, there's a lot of information that you get from the fact that, once again, just like after Soleimani was killed, but except this time it's a much bigger deal. They didn't just take off, kill an Iranian general in Iraq. They bombed the heck out of the country and bombed their like legal nuclear program. And still, Iran gives advanced notice so that Americans aren't killed. Now, I'm sorry, but that tells you something about that regime. And it really undercuts the entire neocon premise for why we have to be in a conflict with Iran to begin with. Their whole argument is that if Iran gets nukes, Iran is so evil and crazy that they will just use them because they're religious fanatics who don't care about their own survival. They're essentially a regime of suicide bombers. So if they get a nuke, they're going to nuke Israel, and then they don't even care that they know nukes are going to be flying back in their directions. That foundational claim to this entire conflict is just been so tremendously weakened at this point. Because you're telling me that these are suicidal maniacs, but even when their country has been attacked, in a war of aggression, even when they've been attacked, they still don't want it. Which is what this is consistent with everything Iran has done for the last 25 years. They do not want it. They don't, and for very obvious reasons. Of course they want to. They don't want to actually end up killing Americans, because if they did kill a bunch of Americans, what do you think Donald Trump's response to that would have been? It would have been total destruction of the country and that catastrophe that we were talking about. But it's a catastrophe first and foremost for the mullahs. The Ayatollah is not coming out of that thing alive if we went that direction. And so actually it seems that, like most human beings, they are motivated by self-preservation, and that they would much rather continue to rule their country than be killed. That's how, human beings tend to be. And even really, really bad people. Joseph Stalin had nuclear weapons and Mao Zedong had nuclear weapons. These are amongst the most evil human beings who have ever lived. But they didn't just go and nuke another country for no reason, because even they knew that if they did that, nukes would be flying back at them and then they would die. And they did not wish to die. They wished to rule. And so I think that is one of the first, and most important takeaways of the last 24 hours.
100%. And I think a lot of people have missed that. And Dave Smith, as usual, is over target. So that's from Part of the Problem podcast last night.
I agree mostly with him. I do think Iran sucks too.
Sure.
I don't think they're not just harmless. They all the fucking they're the number one state sponsored terrorism in the world.
That's the line. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be in Iran.
At least top 3, I'd say.
That's a fucking observation, though, that no one is really talking about. Like, how much do they really want it even when they were forced to retaliate? I'm proud to be an American too, David, by the way. So, but no, this is not anti-American or anti-anything. And I think Trump's trying to walk a fine line here and appease all sides because he's a great deal maker. That's what he does. I don't know that can happen because Israel always has other intentions. You can throw out the greater Israel theory and all this other stuff, and we're not going to get this has been going on for more than 5 decades now, since the creation of the state. This goes all the way back to the Balfour Declaration. But Iran has shown tremendous restraint for the most part. And even when they were forced to retaliate, because obviously if you do nothing and just let another country fuck you up, you're going to get overthrown by your own people too. So they have to not totally take it. They have to retaliate in some fashion. And even when they retaliated, they gave Trump a heads up. This is what we're going to do. So no Americans died because they don't want a fucking war with America. The only one that really wants America to have a war with Iran has been Bibi Netanyahu his entire life.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That doesn't mean Iran is saints. They're certainly not. But they're also... sorry.
Yeah, and obviously, even if you take the religious aspect out of it, which I think honestly is the religion, I think is probably the 3rd or 4th most important reason for it. But Israel would be the regional hegemon if there was no Iran. Just be Israel, be able to do whatever the fuck they want in the Middle East.
They do right now. They do right now. So, Luke, what's the only country in the world that doesn't have to disclose or have its nuclear program inspected?
Yeah. No, yeah, they've got nukes.
Israel, every country in the world is part of the JCPOA or the overriding nuclear program and is in compliance, except for Israel. Israel doesn't have to disclose what the fuck they have, what they're doing. They don't allow inspections, and they don't care. And they're the only fucking ones. And they're got a lot of gall to try to start a world war over nuclear secrets when they're the only one that's fucking allowed nuclear secrets.
It's another one where I just want nothing to do with it. I'm tired of getting involved in these fights over shitholes.
Sure.
The Ukraine's a shithole. Israel's a shithole. The Middle East is a shithole. Iran's a shithole. I know Iran's not the Middle East, technically. It's more Asia, but it's a shithole. It's the political Middle
Right.
East.
And this is not to be, again, anti-American or an apologist for anybody, but again, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I believe Vladimir Putin has shown tremendous restraint as a world leader. Does that mean he's not a thug? No, he's probably, does that mean he's not done terrible things? Does that mean they've not, Uyghur Muslims or whatever you want to, like in China, and like this doesn't mean these world leaders are amazing and good when you defend them. But what I'm defending in Putin's case is he's been the president there, or the leader, for forever, and he's made deals with numerous regimes of our country, and we've broken every fucking deal.
Yeah.
We said we wouldn't move NATO, we moved NATO. We said we weren't going to admit this, we do it. And so we break every fucking agreement we've ever made. And all he said is, "Hey man, quit moving NATO and missiles to our border," which is something we would do. We would never allow missiles on our border in this hemisphere ever. Like,
Yeah, we've actually been over this on
yes.
We talked about this in on Chatting with Chad before. Like, we've never given them the opportunity. We literally at one point promised them, yes, you could be a part of NATO. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to work together.
Right.
And then Obama came in. When Obama came in, he was like, no, we're not going to do that. And basically, like, treated Putin like he was just like a douche.
Exactly.
And then all that bad blood. But the only person that actually holds up to his end on these international agreements is Trump. When he signs these agreements with people.
I tend to agree
the rest,
with that.
Yeah.
So, like, again, it's a complicated thing. We're not here to solve all the world's problems. You and I don't know shit. But the point is, like, people say, like, oh my God, Putin's trying to kill Poland and take over the world. It's like, no, he's not, actually. He's shown tremendous fucking restraint. Yeah. Like, they could actually, like, wipe things off the map, and they don't. And he still tries diplomacy. Even every time we do a diplomatic agreement, we break it. We fucking violate the terms. That was the whole premise. It's the whole premise for the Berlin Wall coming down. We wouldn't move 1 inch further to the east with fucking NATO, and we've done nothing but break that
almost immediately.
Immediately.
I think like 1992 or 3, we brought in the first countries to NATO. I want to say maybe it was 4 at the latest. I don't know when we expanded NATO, but it's pretty quickly. I was gonna say too, like, we can't fix world problems. We can't even fix like Jake problems. So we can't fix the closest to us issues. Like we,
Jake, be well.
I don't know if I don't know if we ever finished or if you watched any of last night.
I didn't.
I
didn't. I just heard it was a shit show.
It was a shit show. It was ridiculous. I got towards the end, like, it went about an hour and 50 minutes, but towards the end, I got like, I was like 6 or 7 beers deep, and I just like completely lost interest of just playing the video of Jackson singing the Pokemon song. Jake, we're gonna hold off on that for a little bit. Like, it's chatting. We're just doing Chatting with Chad tonight.
But I'm not waiting. I didn't listen. I don't know.
No, but I thought it was pretty good. I do agree with Jake, because I was to say, I've got a couple points I want to make, just kind of close up on that. But I do agree with Jake on, like, people are being particularly nasty to Jake. Now, Jake does go turn and, like, apparently, like, dox somebody later that evening, which is, again, just perpetuating the cycle of bad behavior that has been Spaces. But I don't hate Jake. I would like Jake to do well, and I think Jake is great when he's doing well. But the problem is, just can't get it all. Like, you can't put together 4 good quarters. It's kind of like he can put together like 2. He can put together like midway through the 3rd quarter, and then it starts to fall apart.
Well, and again, we talked about this, but the kind of the Spaces, like, we'll have something going on. They'll have the Barstool 3-on-3. Everybody comments on it and having fun, and then you run out of material and it turns into people.
Oh yeah, you just gotta fight with everybody.
Like, then you start with the bits, and everybody just starts picking at each other, and it's not like you said, being nasty. There's no reason to be nasty. Don't be nasty. Shout out to BA.
Yep. Like, nobody takes more shit than BA. So universally agreed.
I hope to meet him one day.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think you guys would like each other. That'd be a good conversation.
I've talked on these streams to BA like 4 times. He's always like, "What am I
Yeah.
going to meet you at?" That's like,
Yeah.
anyways, everything's a bit.
It's fun. That's true. I mean, I'm a big bit guy myself. I got to be honest. Like, I also get credit for other people's bits, like, which is fine. Like, there's accounts that people think are me, and they're not me. But I don't disavow it. Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't say it's me either. But like, I appreciate like getting the attention, even if it's not me.
These Luke Burner accounts that are undisclosed.
No, all my burners are disclosed for the most part. If you're in the farm league, you know my burners. But I only have one burner now because I got the new phone and I don't remember like what my login was for the other. Because you got to make a new email address every time. So I just have like stupid Gmail accounts that I don't know what the fuck they were.
That's the fucking
But
worst.
I got to make new ones. I'll have to make new burners. Yeah, I need more burners. I need a Marshall burner. Marshall's getting like a pretty good burner community on Twitter. And I want to get involved in the Marshall burnerverse.
So are you just gonna haggle like the staff and the players, or what? Like
No, it's other school, like Southern Miss, basically.
the
Just
Tiger
destroy
Lilies
s-
shake. Sorry.
What are the what are the orange flowers? 'Cause I didn't see that comment at first, so I was like, Tiger Lilies, what the fuck are you
Tiger
talking?
Lilies. I got another basket there over my shoulder, a couple hanging baskets.
Oh yeah, peonies.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, those are great.
I got some
Love
flocks
those.
back there.
I'm bidding on a lot of 20. I can actually show you what these things are.
Do it.
Let me pull them up real quick. You'll know like better like what somebody would use this shit for than I will too. But it's stuff. The deal that we did with that guy, it's over now. Like we're wrapping it up. And he just wants the electronics, so I'm putting those all together in Gaylord so he can have freight come get it. And then I think he's gonna sell it to somebody who's gonna melt it all down or something. But he donated everything else. So these didn't sell when we were running them. And I'm looking at it like it's the way that we were pricing them. Like I could sell them for about 20, 25 bucks a piece. And it should cost me like $8 to ship them. They only weigh like a pound or two. But here, I'll pull it up right now. It's this thing. It's not the same. This is not the particular one I'm going to be buying, but it's the exact same model. Share screen. How do I do that? Oh, I see. Hang on. Stupid. Share this tab instead. This one's also dirty and like used. Mine are brand new. They're not mine yet. I'm bidding on them. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a DeSuter 3DU balancer thingy.
I actually don't know what that is.
I don't either. Mine's brand new. Again, like brand new though. Like maybe it might not even be a 3DU. It might be a 5DU. But like there's some sort of DeSuter.
It's like a tool, right? Looks like a tool.
It's like a I almost call it like a caliper kind of a thing. Like I don't know, like
a precision tool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's made in. So I can't remember. I've looked at them before. They're made in like the Netherlands or like some northern, Western European country.
Okay.
And so I don't know, but I might be able to get like 20 of these for. Yeah, this is what mine are like. They're in the brand new box, like right here. That's how they ship.
$52. Not bad. So yeah. And those didn't move?
They didn't move. We didn't sell a single one. But again, I think it's the way that we were pricing them. Because we were putting $14.99 shipping on them, which you see they're putting $14.99, $29.99. They're putting a lot on it too. But I think if you like just do more like, I don't know. I guess obviously like they don't sell a whole lot. Maybe I shouldn't buy these things.
Well, I'm failing you as an engineer because I feel like I should know this. I feel like it's a tool I should probably fucking have, and I don't, which that's rare. But anyway. Also, Jake was pointing out about Jason Williams because I saw the rounds. I sent you the clip a million times, but I almost sent you the clip
Oh, here you go. I'm a 1
Yesterday
second.
was
Do you see this?
27. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't have it pulled up anymore. I just wanted to break down what this thing is real quick. I think you can. It's actually not what I thought it was. It's like a harness for your tool. A device used to suspend and counterbalance tools, reducing operator fatigue and improving ergonomics in industrial settings. It's not
Okay.
at all what I expected. I expected it was something different. Now I don't want it so much.
So you'd probably hang that over a workstation, like as it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Jake says, had no idea Jason Williams went to Marshall when Donovan was there. Yep. And followed him to UF. Yep. What a passer. Yep.
No, so
What video
yesterday
did you want me to put up?
it was making the rounds.
The,
He got
Sorry.
drafted 27 years ago yesterday. So they were like,
Yeah.
it was like a 3-minute Jason Williams highlight reel, which was awesome because they're always all freaking awesome.
I've showed you the commercial that they did, Nike did with him and Moss,
It's
right?
the good old boys. That's like one
Yeah,
of the
I'm about to
best.
play that commercial for. I'll play it for Jake. It's new to him, I think. That's my favorite commercial of all time.
That's got.
They
it's-
both got drafted in the first round in 1998 too. One in basketball, one in football.
I was say absolutely. Moss probably could have got drafted in the NBA too. Sorry, go on.
If he wanted to play basketball, I'm sure he'd have been
100%.
amazing at it too.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that video or that commercial. But yeah, Williams played 1 season in the Southern Conference for Billy Donovan. Sat out a year at Florida, and then played 1 year at Florida. And then he had problems too. Like he had to go to the NBA early. He wasn't going to be allowed back in Florida for the next season, if I remember correctly. Yeah, which is kind of crazy now. That like looking back, like Moss and him both like got in so much trouble for weed.
Yeah.
It's like
But they should have stayed in West Virginia because the West Virginia boys didn't care. They let them do whatever, like, right. It was
Yeah, they
only
should have stayed at Marshall.
dominated. Everybody wanted to fuck with them, right? Like,
That's true.
they don't.
No,
tear
yeah,
you-
they were.
If you're shit, no one tears you down. You know what I mean? They only tear you down if you're good.
That's true. Absolutely, 100%. And where they're from is a shithole. Rand, that whole area sucks. It's ugly. Ugh. Very gross. Kanawha River, gross.
Shit.
Kanawha County is just kind of gross. I don't like Charleston. You been in Charleston much? No, you went to
Little
school in
bit.
Morgantown.
Very little though. Yeah,
Yeah.
not as much as
No,
that.
it's gross. Ugly city.
We were talking airports one time. I think I told you that. So when I go to Morgantown, I still have to fly. So Morgantown has an airport, but it's small aircraft only because they need to extend the runway for commercial aircraft. They've been trying to do that for forever. I think they might have done it. Maybe there's 1 or 2 flights in there. There's another airport, Clarksburg, just south of Morgantown, that would be soon to fly into, except there's only like 2 flights a day.
I was
And
gonna say,
I always have to get a rental car, and it's one of those where it's off-site. You have to call them and arrange them to bring your rental car in, and it's a pain in the ass. So I still end up flying to Pittsburgh. Is still the best way to get into Morgantown in northern West Virginia.
you want to do this one real quick? You
Yeah,
sent me this as well.
We'll see
I
what
like
this-
Ari.
Well, let me preface this one before we go here because this one's a little spicy. Just that
Oh, okay.
we're not. We talk about. We'll keep it high level. We talk about the politics stuff a lot. You and I, and even with Trump, like there's good Trump, bad Trump, and I like Trump as opposed to the alternative, but I'm still can give you 15 things that I freaking hate that Trump does, including in this big, beautiful bill. If you looked at it, they're giving Palantir access to establish a database on every American. And in the big, beautiful bill, there's a 10-year moratorium where the states can't regulate AI at all. So they're actually putting Palantir in charge of creating a federal database to spy on all of us. This is extension of the Patriot Act. And the government wants to do the next 10 years of this without any state pushback. Like DeSantis could say no or whatever. So it's actually in the beautiful bill that none of the states can do anything about it. So the point is, it doesn't matter who your favorite politician is. Nothing really changes. Like Trump is just the less bad, but it's still
Right.
he still is compromised. They all are. And I guess my questions before we cue this up, Luke, to you is in 2008, when the banks broke the entire financial system, which bankers went to jail?
I'm going to say none, right?
None of them. Basically none of them. There was like one like desk jockey they kicked back. And then second question for you. After COVID, when they killed all these millions of Americans with shots, now that people are starting to awaken to, and they shut down, they ruined people's lives and closed businesses. And who did any of these people go to jail?
I'd say no.
No. So nothing changes until you start jailing politicians and bankers and like actually changing this shit. So what we've kind of talked about on this show, which is supposed to be an educational program, is the Strauss-Howe fourth turning. And you could, Neil Ferguson's written books, The End of Money, like The Death of Money, like Strauss-Howe generational theory, fourth turning, however you want to look at it. We are in that period now where we cannot change it. Our government and the systems are corrupt. All we can do is do the best we can, make money, try to take care of ourselves and stay the hell out of the way, as we always talk about. And this clip was making the rounds this week. And this was Ari. Actually, I'm not a huge Ari Shaffir guy, but 10 years ago he said this, and this blew my mind. He's sadly correct. So let's cue this one up.
I don't give a shit.
You don't find it a great
I really don't care
treasure
about politics.
trove of
Some people
material?
do. I don't. I think the system is corrupt. Every time I'm walking on the street, somebody's like, hey, vote for so-and-so. I'm like, it's all corrupt. Anarchy is the only way we're going to change anything. Violence. Kill a politician. That's the only way you can change shit.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're joking.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, voting is not going to make a difference. It has never. Not in 100 years.
So what would you like to see?
I'd like to see some politicians start getting murdered and reform this government.
Jesus.
Oh my
Into one that's
God.
not corrupted. I'd like to get business out of government, and they're not going to do it. So the only way to do this is start killing people.
Isn't that exactly what
Look
you
around the
want?
world. How has anything changed around the world? How has any regime changed happen around the world? Violence. That's the only way. You think people in Arab countries are that much different than us?
Yeah.
Violence. That's the only way you depose a system that doesn't represent the people anymore.
I mean, I think the wonderful thing about the United States is that we can vote, and you do change
Your
administration.
vote doesn't go anywhere. Your vote doesn't do anything.
Yes, it does.
You can now be arrested and
Yes,
never
it
tried
does.
if they say you're a terrorist. Never tried in your life. Just arrested and held forever.
January
Who
6th.
voted for that?
So shoot them all.
No, not shoot them all. Start shooting them until they get business out of politics and they start representing who we are instead of their money interests. Yeah, violence. That's the only way shit changes, man.
Okay.
Look at history. Tell me when a regime has changed with voting.
He's
I
correct.
know,
I'm not trying-
That's not fair because you haven't studied this stuff.
Well, no, I'm not trying to, murder politicians. I'm not trying to do what I don't like that others do that I would like to change, so I will shoot somebody because I'm pissed off that they're shooting somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not the way that I think, but that's fine. We think differently.
I think even if you don't want to shoot somebody, don't vote. Voting is you complicitly saying, I support this system. And I don't support it anymore. I don't. We're killing people in Yemen. We're murdering families in Yemen that aren't associated with any sort of terrorist thing. It was just an oopsie when we killed a wedding party. And Obama, the fucking hope change guy, just refused to comment on it. That's cool. Do what you want. It's not going to change. Your voting is not going to change that. I know one way that it'll change. I can look at history and tell you this is the way things change. Look at whenever a black guy gets shot, it's like, oh, it's bad. If this is a riot, no one comments on it. Those things go under the radar. When there's a riot in Baltimore, it's like, hold on, we've got to rethink the system here in Baltimore because people went crazy. That's just in history, here and elsewhere. That's the only way shit changes.
All right, we'll agree to disagree on
And
that.
I guarantee the
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah. We're not
That's pretty-
advocating.
No, not advocating for that at all. But he's
Not
also
advocating.
like,
Yeah.
he's being, he's Ari Shaffir, so he's being a little like shocking. That's what he's doing. But no, but his point is though it's correct. Like the United States was born from a violent revolution.
Well,
I mean-
and comedy tends to
Yeah, yeah.
know actually first, and so why aren't we playing Dave Smith earlier? But like the comedians get it, like it in a a subliminal way. Like, so Dave Smith, another thing he always says is like, no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain, and he's right. Like it's this. The
That's
machine-
funny.
The machine rolls on. It does not fucking matter. And in fact, we were going back to Iran. The other thing I wanted to share with that is we talked about, if you've never seen it, the Octopus Murders. It's called American Conspiracy, the Octopus Murders. You've watched it.
Yeah. Yes.
They even have a
Great.
nice little 20-minute clip in there about Iran-Contra. And they used Iran again back in 79 or whatever the fuck it was to oust Jimmy Carter in favor of Ronald Reagan. And everyone, you hear about Ronald Reagan and trickle down and Reagan economics. But what they don't tell you is Ronald Reagan was actually largely socialist. You still got socialism under Reagan. He created the Head Start program. He created the SNAP program. He created food stamps. Like, he created
It's also kind of anti-gun.
housing and development programs, gun control. Like, you still got the restrictions they wanted to pass, and you got more military, and you got
Carter was a fuckface too, though. To be fair.
they're all fucked. And that's why even
Yeah.
with Trump, Trump is trying to thread the needle and do the deal. And that's why he dropped that F-bomb, because he doesn't like to be embarrassed. And he actually was trying to, like, okay, if I just make it quick, let Israel fuck some shit up, screw Iran a little bit, and then try to piece it all back together and not make it World War III, I'll try to thread that needle. And that's what he's trying to do. And even then,
Yeah, Israel fucked him on that deal.
even then,
They turned
we're
around.
getting-
Yeah.
Sorry, I would just say even then we're getting more government spending than we've ever gotten. They're not actually initiating the Doge cuts, and we're getting more American surveillance with Palantir and the AI fucking Skynet, and he's ushering that in. So it didn't matter if it was Biden, Trump, or whomever. That was going to happen. We're going to spend more money, and the military is going to roll on. It doesn't change until you start jailing politicians and bankers and the people that are doing this. And Big Pharma put the Sackler family in jail allegedly for killing 500,000 Americans with opioids or more or whatever. Like, that's the shit that actually makes it change, and it's not allowed. It's not allowed. It's not going to happen because this is sanctioned. Like, the government's not going to regulate itself. They're not going to arrest their own. They're all in on it. And anyways, so we didn't want to get that spicy with it, but I'm saying, like, all you people that if we just vote for Vivek, or if we just vote for Bernie, or if we just stop it. Like, no matter who you vote for, you're getting John McCain.
Yeah.
Until
I just
It's-
have
we get
wait.
Ari Shaffir moment. Sorry, until we get to the Ari Shaffir moment.
When
that
you brought up the Doge thing and none of that, like, that's over and none of that happened. It's just over. But if the people who were protesting that, remember all the big protests, oh my God, this is horrible, this can't happen. If they gave a shit, they'd be celebrating right now because none of it happened. We're still
It's-
blowing money like fucking crazy. It's all just still, yeah.
we still need to suspend the debt ceiling and spend more money than we've ever spent. Like, it's, and I'm a finance nerd and we won't get into all this, but the point is now they're letting crypto run wild, and Circle now, like USDC and Tether, and Walmart can have a coin, and JP Morgan can have a coin. And the reason they're letting everybody going to start with this new legislation to let stable coins, you're hearing about the stable coin legislation. The reason for that is because everybody now who issues a bullshit token has to back it with treasuries, because now that fucking Japan and China are buying less treasuries, they're going to make the Bitcoin and the currency people buy treasuries to back their currencies so that you can fill. They're going to put them on pension funds, and they're going to mandate X amount. You have to, if you're collecting Social Security or retirement or whatever, you have to have X amount into government bonds. So they're going to continue to spend money and increase the debt and find people to soak up this demand, even if it's not coming anymore from the rest of the world.
You know what the move is? Like, the best move is to do something like criminal, make a lot of money, and then like flee to like Russia or North Korea. Like, I feel like I didn't realize this. Like, there's a lot of criminals that like live in North Korea, like financial crime and stuff, because like the North Koreans you just give them some money, they're happy to have you, and like you just kind of like just be a being a ultra rich person, especially if you're like kind of a recluse, is the same pretty much anywhere.
It's a superpower. Shit,
They're sitting there, they're watching like they're watching the Super Bowl, they're watching NFL Sunday Ticket. It's just they're in North Korea somewhere.
Yeah, you can still get
I gotta
Starlink and stream it from your laptop. That's right. Yeah.
Like if you look like on Steam on Steam on the computer, it shows you where everybody in the world where they're playing. They're like a little dot. It used to be like that on Halo 2. Remember? It would show the same thing when you go online. Right. There's people in North Korea who play on Steam all day long. Like there's
sure.
Yeah. So I kind of like the conspiracy, by the way. I don't know if it's true or not. It really doesn't like somebody said it needs more time to see, but maybe the whole mountain thing is like it's all just like they're bombing it because it's a big crypto mine. They're just like fucking knocking it out.
They definitely clearly were mining some. There's no doubt about that, because like you said, the hash rate just doesn't fall off the map like that without nodes coming online.
So you were talking about the coins and all that, man. I've kind of come to the conclusion, and I've accepted the fact I'm never going to understand any of it with the coins. I just don't get it. Like I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't make sense to me. No matter how much you say it, it's in my head. It's always going to be worth no money. Like I get it. You tell me this. Like Bitcoin's gotten to the point where now I treat it like in my head it's just a currency. So it's like or a stock is what it really is. It's a stock. So like in my head, I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin's like $1,000 or whatever. It's a lot more than $1,000. But so I just don't get it. So I just like I'm gonna lose money. Like I've lost money before. I've known about like people around me because I've done the cards and all that bullshit and the internet bullshit. People are always talking about it. I've just always been like, I don't fucking get it, and I've just never gotten involved. So, but I just accept it. Like I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
I'm not dumb. Like I'm a pretty smart guy. I don't fucking get it.
No, at least fair enough, and neither do I. But let me riff on that for a second. So there's a couple things here. So one of the things with these stable coins originally where they were designed for is there's tens of thousands of coins now. There's Link and there's XRP and there's Solana and there's Ethereum and there's BAT and there's Theta, whatever token you want. Okay, so on a big exchange like a Kraken or something like that, you can trade in between these currencies. And the reason Tether became big as a stable coin is if you trade back into US dollars, it becomes a taxable event and you get fucked because they still control the off ramps into US dollars. So when I liquidated my trade, if I wanted to sell or swap between currencies, I would use Tether. I would instead of holding my money in US dollars and cashing out and then cashing back in and creating a taxable event every time, I liquidate my Bitcoin into Tether, and I hold Tether as a dollar proxy, and then I could get into another coin. And it kind of was a workaround for taxes and stuff. And trading.
And it's called Tether because it's tethered to the US dollar, I assume.
Yes, exactly right. And
Tether was
supposed to be basically a $1 peg digitally that's backed by treasuries and holdings of actual dollars, which it's not. It's never been audited. Tether's a scam too. So there's a fucking Ponzi scheme, and then there's the Circle now is USDC. That's a Ponzi. It's all just Ponzi schemes on top of Ponzi scheme. But that was the net. Now, last thing I'll say on this is a lot of these tokens do actually have value. I've been a huge proponent of T0 from Overstock. Actually, now it's Beyond. They bought Bed Bath and Beyond, but Overstock created T0, which is actually like a tokenized. It can basically replace the stock market. Every asset can be tokenized as in an exchange, and it's actually a really cool product. XRP is designed to replace the SWIFT system. You can actually do cross-border payments with Ripple XRP. Cardano is actually, and Monero are actually anonymous coins, if you will, privacy coin. And people were building things off Solana, and that is actually a smart Ethereum. Sorry, is actually a smart contract where
Ethernet.
you could have like
I know Ethernet.
Yeah, Ethernet, Ethereum. So the idea originally when they came out with Ethereum was like, well, the utility companies can use Ethereum, and you pay your electric bill on the blockchain, and it's linked to your meter. And if you don't pay, it turns off your meter, and like kind of like streamline shit like that as a smart contract, or your car insurance. So there are some tokens that have applications, but there's 50 million other shitcoin, fartcoin, like Hawk Tuah coin that are just grift and bullshit, and like it's a mess. It's a mess.
Kirk coin.
So
there's a Kirk coin.
The point being, right? They are going
Montante used that to scam Metafans.
Yeah, they're going to allow more and more of these alt currencies to exist because they're going to be by treasuries, and what they really need is demand for the world gets tired of the US's bullshit and wants to buy for treasuries. You need to find another sucker at the table to buy them, and what's going on here. They're going to turbocharge the crypto side and pick up some demand that way. That doesn't mean the US dollar is going to zero tomorrow. It doesn't mean that no one's ever going to buy our treasuries. It just means it's less. And let's get back now off the crypto to the other stuff. This brings us to the geopolitical in terms of with the Iran stuff. Iran is part of the BRICS coalition. And after they allowed Israel to kind of go after them and the US to go after them, Russia and China immediately came out and said, all right, enough. Like the BRICS bloc said, like, we're calling for ceasefire now. Okay, we've seen enough. They probably negotiated it. They let them have a couple of days of war, and then they said, you guys got to knock this shit off. Okay. The BRICS bloc, and like you said, actually, to your original point, Iran was probably mining Bitcoin. See, they could use Bitcoin to exchange and like store their energy. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, it's a good. You have to actually.
North Korea's got a ton of Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to actually mine it with energy, and you storing it in energy in a currency that can be exchanged cross border. It makes total sense if you've been kicked off of and sanctioned elsewhere. So the point being, the U.S. is struggling as we adapt to a multipolar world where the BRICS bloc, China and Russia and India and Iran and Brazil and South Africa and these other countries they're not the U.S., but they're pretty with it countries. They're emerging. Right. They have industry. We now rely on these countries. They have their own bloc over here. And so the U.S. can no longer just do whatever the F we want over here. We will continue to lose share slowly as we do business with other countries that are on the up and coming. And they say, you know what? We don't want you guys to have the whole show over here. We're going to do a little more trade with each other. And the final wrapping up on this to bring it full circle is like, actually, if you look, it's almost like the old trade maps where India is going to benefit greatly from this as a new trade hub, and Dubai and Doha are benefiting as trade hubs. The old Ottoman Empire, Turkey, Brazil is doing better, and actually even Greece on the Mediterranean. Greece's economy, if you look at the GREK ETF, Greece has been now finally ascending again because these countries are seeing a little bit more trade go through there as the U.S. loses some share of trade. And, you know, we don't get to make the rules. It's fucking complicated. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything, but that's what we're seeing. And that's why the panic and the fear and all this bullshit is like the world is right in front of us. We got to go through this shit. And we're not used to that. We're used to the Team America. We do what we want. And it's going to be a very, very different thing. And they're trying to negotiate. And that's, again, Trump. He's the great negotiator. I think they put him in to help try to negotiate some of this shit. And we'll get off this, but he just went around and got NATO to up the stake to 5% now, right? They were supposed to pay 2%. Now they've all agreed to 5%. Spain.
He threatened Spain with tariffs.
Yeah. Because they haven't even paid their 2%, and he upped it to 5%, and everyone else agreed. And Spain's like, "Fuck you, we don't want to pay." And now he's going after Spain. Like,
well, I like that too because he gave them the choice. They said no, and then he took the choice away. He's like, "Okay, well then pay more money in tariffs."
Exactly.
That's how you negotiate. I like that because you know what? God damn it, we are number one. We're the biggest, strongest country. Like, don't fucking let these little dickheads push us around. Who the fuck is Spain? Spain hasn't been relevant since 1800. Who gives a fuck?
This is not to be anti-American. This is not to say we're not number one. This is just to say that
we are number one.
We are, but shit's changing a little bit. This is like a turning around the Titanic, you know.
That's fine. I mean? We should use our ability because we are number one to make things better for ourselves, and only and that's it. Just solely be focused on making America. This good? Checkbox. Yes or no. Is this good for America? Does this move the needle forward or backward?
Right.
Okay, forward. Yes, we do it.
Exactly why he's pushing so hard with the tariffs to onshore some manufacturing, to make chips in this country, to protect the farmers, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Yeah. I get it. And no one's ever going to be happy. And it's not a solvable problem, but we're just trying what you're seeing.
With the chips too, I get we don't have that right now like they do over in Taiwan, but it's ridiculous to say the United States can't do that. We can obviously do that. It'll take us a little bit, but we will obviously be able to do that. So
yes,
I don't know.
Let me riff on that for a second. So there's
you actually know what that is. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, well, so there's a Dutch company, ASML, that makes the specialized
machine. You talked about that last time. Yeah.
For Taiwan Semi, right. So could we do that here? Yeah, but it's going to take us a decade. They got to build the factory. They got to get the custom machinery over here. They got to train people. They got to
right.
And by the time the technology is outdated, you need the next revision. So we're just behind years ahead of everybody in terms of.
You're breaking up a little bit.
And one second.
You just broke up for a second there,
all right, am I back?
Yeah, it'll come back.
So
yeah.
we allowed to get ahead, and we didn't care at first. And then one day we woke up and we said, "Oh shit, we're behind," and now it matters. Yeah. And now we want to catch up, right? And so that's with chips, but it's the same thing with so one last thing on this China-U.S. shit. China with the Belt and Road Initiative. When they created these trade agreements with other countries, they were building ports in other countries. They were building ships in other countries, trade routes. When we negotiate with other countries, it's for no. Hey, you're going to buy our Boeings. You're going to buy our bombs. We export dollar bills. We export dollar bills and war. But with China was a better trading partner to a lot of these countries because they were actually giving them tangible goods and trade routes and ports and commerce and things that they need. And we export funny money, banking, and weapons. And the world wants less of that and more of trade. And we need to make that transition. We need to make the transition. We need to knock it the fuck off and become a manufacturing hub again and a good trade partner. We've been a bad trade partner. And that's why we've lost share as well. We're losing market share because we're a bad trade partner.
Well, we're set up to benefit bankers. We're not set up to benefit like the actual. We're set up to benefit like the little somebody's sucking away a little bit, like for the leeches, the mosquitoes with their little ear. Yeah.
We're number one in the world in financialization and fucking selling financial products and banking and fucking leverage and trading and all these things that actually create no value. They create value.
I think people are happier too when they have like actual jobs, not like made up bullshit jobs.
Of course.
Where they're like, because it's like, this is, I'd rather like make I guarantee the vast majority of people would rather make something or do something tangible if a well-paying job were available doing such a thing than like try to sell life insurance or
God,
I don't know.
It's literally the worst job in the world. Shout out if you're out there selling life insurance. I've been there, by the way.
I never went that route. I never. I could always be a bookkeeper. Like I never had to go that. But I don't know.
You never got into underwriting, bro?
No. Maybe I should have. What I needed to do is be born about like if I were about your age and I got into mortgages and just sold shit on mortgages for a few years, I'd have made bank. One of the dumbest guys I know, great guy, like a nice. Well, I wouldn't say a great guy, but a nice guy. Like when I lived in Ohio, I knew him. He made a shit ton of money. He just sold mortgages and all the mortgages, like all the houses he sold, like the people lost those houses. Like everything he did was bad. But he made so much fucking money, and then he just bought rental properties.
Yep.
He bought up like when it all died, like he lost his job because it was all over. He had all that money, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just buy these places and rent them."
Running a mortgage chop shop, dude. Well,
basically,
I'll sell it to you, and then I'll buy it back from you when you go tits up.
Yeah, boiler room. I remember he told me. I didn't realize this. I never thought about it before, but it's obvious too. Like if like somebody gets murdered at your house, like your rental place, like. The cops come and they do their investigation. They don't clean that shit up. They take the body away and stuff. But no, you gotta the cops killed somebody. Like there was a guy like with a knife or something in the front like porch of one of his places, and they blew his brains all across the front door. And he had to pay to get all that cleaned, to buy a new door or whatever, get all of it painted and shit. Like
insurance doesn't cover that.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, you're right.
I feel like that's probably isn't part of the policy. I feel like.
Yeah, random acts of murder.
Well, it's cost of doing business. I don't know, but I remember him being like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like the guy was like on a rampage and they shot him and like blew his brains all across the front porch and like. I gotta pay to have it cleaned. You gotta you can't just go at that with a bucket and some bleach. Like you gotta pay somebody to come and do it.
I think there was like a Samuel L. Jackson movie or something like that where he was clean. It was old. It was probably at least 3 years old. I can't recall where he was like a cleanup expert like that.
Oh, okay.
I'll follow up with you later on that. Somebody in the chat help us out if you remember. But yeah. Anyways, no, you're right. It's like it reminds me of the chick from The Big Short, that like the stripper that had 3 houses or whatever. And he's like, he's like short it all, like fucking, like it's people now at Airbnbs, like, oh yeah, I got 10 Airbnbs, it's like short it all. Like there's no way this ends well.
The entire concept of Airbnb is just terrible. Hotels are great. I don't know why people I would rather pay $100. Like $100 hotels suck. They're not great, but like you could pay like $200 a night for an Airbnb that sucks.
Yep.
And then like you gotta
100%.
like take out the trash, you gotta change the sheets. As long as you don't do anything like disgusting and destroy a hotel, they don't give a fuck. You don't have to make the bed. You just fucking go in there. You live for like 9 hours or however long you need to. Then you leave and like it's all over.
I got a quick
And
story.
the air
on this.
conditioning. Yeah,
We Airbnb. I think I showed you a couple. This was 3
I've
months
never
ago.
done it before.
We Airbnb'd in Alabama. A couple of my military buddies. We had a little half-ass reunion out there in northern Alabama, and it was pretty. It was in the hills. I mean, it was like Deliverance. Like you hear the banjo shit, like out in the middle of a beautiful place, overlooking a scenic, like overlooking the whole valley. Beautiful, and they would have weddings. Yep. And so we is supposed to have bags there. It was supposed to have a ping pong table, a grill. It had a covered outdoor porches and all this shit. A sky look where you could look out, bird watching, have your coffee in the morning, overlooking the fucking mountain. And it had most of that, except we showed up. There was no bags. The ping pong table didn't have a net and was tossed out in the yard, all fucked up. And the grill didn't have any propane. And they hyped it up on Airbnb. Yep, it was all in the listing.
It was supposed to be like you show up and just have this whole, it's all ready for you.
Yes,
And like they hadn't they hadn't taken care of it. Like they're not maintaining it. Like
right.
Yeah.
So it was in the listing though, and we booked it. We spent whatever $1,500 for like 3 nights. It was beautiful, and it was mostly great. But we called the people because the bags, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the bags were missing. Like somebody stole them." You should still have the ping pong table, though. It's out in the yard. And we're like, yeah, it's out in the yard, but there's no net or anything. Like, do you have the stuff?
Are you talking about cornhole? Is that what you're saying when you mean bags?
Yeah, cornhole.
They didn't have the bags.
So there was no cornhole. There was no ping pong. And we're like 3 or 4 dudes, like all like
what the
drink
fuck
beer. And we're going to drink beer and play ping pong and cornhole and just fucking, hang out and share war stories. And the grill didn't have propane, and they're like, the grill should have propane. We're like, it doesn't. They're like, okay, they never brought us the propane. They never fucking told us where the ping pong net was. I brought paddles and balls and everything, but there was no net. And you're in the fucking hills of Alabama. No one's selling you a ping pong net. So like, we had nothing to play all weekend when it was like part of the live here and you could fucking have all these amenities. And like, we were like, oh great, it's a party house. Like we could just do all this shit. And they didn't have any of it.
Yeah,
we were pissed.
That's horse shit.
Yeah,
that sucks too because like at the same time like
we had campfire and shit. Yeah, but
that's cool. Like I can grab like most of that shit on my way if I know. But like if I'm in the middle of the hills, there's Walmart's 35 minutes away. Exactly. I just want to hang out and drink.
It's an hour to your fucking nearest Walmart because you're literally in Nowheresville.
Yeah,
and we went down there and
that sucks.
They didn't have any ping pong nets, but we got propane. Thank God, one of my buddies lived locally, like 2 hours away. So at the end of the week, we're like, "Fuck, we're not leaving this tank here for them. Fuck them. We didn't have one when we got here." So I gave him the rest of the propane tank. Like we were petty, but Jesus,
you brought your own. You had your own propane tank. You didn't like refill theirs, obviously.
I had to buy it for $65 from Walmart.
Yeah, I was saying it's expensive to buy the goddamn tank.
Yeah. Fuck that.
I'd rather do that though too. So you just, at the same time, so you just drove around the propane tank.
And we paid.
It's kind of funny.
We paid money for like a top-rated fucking Airbnb thing, like I said, and we got screwed.
I remember it's not that big of a deal, but I remember when I first started at Kroger when I was a bagger, I was like 17. The first time, I had to go, some guy showed up and he was like, "Yeah, I want to change my propane," and I brought his propane tank inside with me. And they were acting like I brought a bomb inside. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I shouldn't do that, but chill.
Leave it out by the cage. Yeah.
Yeah, the lady at the information desk was acting like I literally brought a live bomb inside. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "You gotta exchange this."
Should have put a towel on your head. Everyone freaked out. They'd called the cops.
Yeah, morons. That's awesome though. All right, man.
What else were we cutting it up about? Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? You got about 20 minutes left. We did Jake. We did that whole thing. We did the Spaces update, basically. We did all the video. I'm not going to do the Leonardo Joni video.
No, let's
I'll
not.
hold off
I
on
love
that
her
one.
though. She's great.
She's funny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that.
she's a little much. She's a little much. She is
is not-
obnoxious.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's great.
she's a much. Yeah, she's funny, but she's annoying. Like in a good way.
Did you
like,
give a shelf up
irritating.
the other day on Lingering? Was
I
there
did a shelf update. I haven't. The only difference is last night I forgot. I told Jake he was on the shelf, and he was like, "Actually, I'm on the curb." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. You are on the curb now." Because I had moved Jake all the way from the curb to the honor end of the thing, but I had to put him back on the curb because he kept doxing people and threatening to dox people.
Jake, you blew it for yourself, dude. You were only gonna get a half a demotion instead of a full demotion.
So Fez, it's like a joke, but Fez like says like he has a cabinet and it's got everybody's info in it, and he's gonna and he like sends a picture of like an antique cabinet, like this giant cabinet, like a filing cabinet,
Yeah,
but like it's all wood and it's really nice and it's like funny. And I said, when Fez talks about the cabinet, it's like it's funny and kind of whatever, but like. And then I was like, Jake, do you have like a cabinet or anything like Fez does? He's like, I have an external hard drive. And like, it's just like, Jake's external hard drive is like just kind of terrifying.
where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah, it's like grimy. But we talked about that. He just has a natural inclination where he has to like, apparently like, he's got a file on you too, probably. He's got a file on everyone. So.
I'm a Jake guy. We're friends.
I watched. I don't know if we've ever really talked. Texas State going to the Pac-12. Did you see that?
No. Oh. Sad state of affairs.
Yeah, the Pac-12 kind of sucks.
Sports?
It's like it's
football and basketball.
Yeah, everything. That'll be official. So they're leaving the Sun Belt, which is like we're all totally fine with it. Like they suck. Like the Pac-12's like not a good conference.
They've
It's gonna be
never won
Washington
in the
State,
Sun
Oregon
Belt.
State, huh?
Yeah, they've never even won in the Sun Belt. Like, yeah.
They had a really good team like 2 years ago, I think, but they might have won something then, like division or something. But yeah, we don't like. They're not a good program, but I guess they're a okay market, and their name is Texas State, which is better, I guess, than like Northwest Texas State or something. But yeah, so they're going to the Pac-12. So Pac-12 is gonna be like Washington State, Oregon State, like San Diego State. I don't know, Boise State, Texas State. Gonzaga is joining it as well, but not for football. Obviously, not football, but so Sun Belt is going to have a team. I think it's going to end up being Western Kentucky.
Tell me more about the
replace
Reds.
them.
Tell me about this Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh, De La
Ellie
Cruz.
De La Cruz snub. Yeah, he's getting snubbed on
Snubbed.
All-Star voting. I saw.
Yeah, it's just the Reds just don't have. They're not popular enough. That's all that's going on there. Like, I think Lindor has more votes, and there's one more guy. Can't remember who it is. He's third, I believe, but he's
But
like
you have-
got like a million. Huh?
But you have a full pitching staff now. Tell me about the staff. Like, you guys are putting together a fucking squad here slowly. Like,
I mean, it's pretty nice. Hunter Green. Then you got Abbott, who's great. Got 2 Abbott autographs. The night he pitched the complete game, the shutout, I believe, right? Complete game shutout.
I think so. Complete game.
The night he
shutout.
did that, I bought 2 autographs. I bought a Prism Draft, like autograph, really cheap. It was like, who gives a fuck? But I just bought it because it was really cheap. I bought a Topps rookie auto, but like it was like not like the main one. It was like an insert auto. I can't remember which one it is, but and then I bought a gold rookie out of 2023, whatever his rookie year is. I don't even know. But that guy canceled, which that one annoyed me. That guy was like, I can't find the card.
Yeah,
Which
as soon
I
as he
keep
was
watching
big
his
night.
profile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I keep watching his profile, but he hasn't relisted. He probably sold it to his card shop or something. But that's the one I really wanted. But I got the autographs, so that's fine. I spent I've invested like $11 or $12 into Andrew Rabbits, so
Sorry,
it's a pretty
bro.
big
I just
deal.
realized this card doubled and I can't find it all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like the
Thanks.
gold rookies
I do
because
too. I
like
hope.
the more and more they print the everything else, I'm like, well, there's only two, the year that there are for these, and these are classics. Like the serial numbered gold out of the year is like the classic
Yep.
parallel. It's the first parallel, so it's gonna
I do.
always be better than the foil board orange out of 349 or whatever.
You want the pink camo or the camo die cut or any of that
Yeah,
shit? You're like, give me.
yeah.
No, the gold border tops.
Fanatics
Nice.
Fest is a fucking joke, by the way. Did you see any of that shit?
No, tell me about it.
There's a clip where Paul Skeen's girlfriend, I can't think of her name,
Libby Dunn.
Livy Dunn, yes. They it's so set up, dude. Like, I don't even know if it was Steel City, their booth at the show. Like, it's a card show, but it's also it's more of like a social media thing. Like, what it reminded me of is like if you go to like those things where it's like it looks like a cutout of like an airplane like cockpit, and like you can like take pictures and pretend you're like on a private jet. Like,
Look at me,
but
out
instead
at
you have a
Nashville. Right. Yeah.
but instead you have a card show as your like background, and like like Tim Tebow might be there. I don't know, which is the same as the
Right.
National, yeah. But even like I don't know, but like so Steel City's booth, like they had like a Paul Skeens card. It was the Mango one, like a PSA 10, I'm sure. And like it's so obvious they fed her lines because she comes up and she's like, "Hi, do you have any Paul Skeens cards?" And they're like, "Yeah, what are you looking for?" And she's like, "I want the Mango one." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I happen to have one right here, PSA 10, and I want $3,000 for it or whatever. Or I don't know what the fuck." She's like, "Oh well, the last one did $2,200. Could you do $2,800?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, sold." And like, meanwhile, they've got like it all shut down. They got all these cameras and somebody said it. They're like, imagine like you paid like $4,000 for a table or whatever this is, and like you're trying to like do a show and you can't because like, first what's his name, Jake Paul gets here and he's got to go like buy a card, and then I don't know, not Antonio Brown, obviously he fled the country, but whoever Joe Burrow's gonna come by.
AB fled the country.
Yeah, he got a murder indictment or whatever for like the attempted murder for
How did I
shooting.
miss this?
Yeah, he left the country.
This is the first I'm hearing of this. Hand to God, what the fuck?
Somebody tried to snatch his chain at that like internet celebrity boxing thing like a month ago, and I think it was in Miami. And I don't know, like I just saw a video, like it's like a video like from somebody's phone in an alley, and like you just see a bunch of like commotion going on, and then you hear like 3 or 4 shots. I guess he just like fired his gun, like to get them to leave him alone.
Damn.
And like not snatch his chain, but like he got indicted for attempted murder because I feel like he just like randomly like was firing, and then he just I don't know, he was like he tweeted the other day, he's like, "I'm not in America anymore, so it doesn't matter." And like, yeah, he just left. So I'm sure he's in like Dubai or something now.
He just did like, so he had like made friends with the comedy scene, right? He was on Rogan, he was on Kill Tony, he was on Theo. Like he got in with the comedians because they think his X feed is funny, because it kind of is.
Oh yeah,
He's
it
always
is.
clowning around. And like, so he actually had become like, I think he was on fucking Schultz's pod. Like he had just done in the last 3 months, like the rounds, and became like cool guy in with the comedy, like podcast crowd, and did all their shows and was
Yeah, it's all over.
making money on X and shit after being like, legitimately having probably CTE. That was his hashtag CTESPN, like the,
Yeah.
but damn, I didn't see any of that. Like he finally just got back in good graces. And
Yeah, no, he got
can't
indicted
stop
for like
fucking up.
attempted murder and fled the country. So it's all over now. I mean, like, and to be honest with you, like, I don't think he would have been convicted of that. He would have probably been like convicted of like, I don't know, wanton endangerment, like, public brandishing or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he was getting like attacked, like and nobody died. Like it would have probably definitely not the way to go.
He's got friends in
Like,
high places now, is the point though. But he can't stop fucking up. That guy.
I like the theory that he smuggles drugs. That's why like you'll see him in like Dubai, and then you'll see him like because he doesn't have that much money.
He
If you think
came
about it.
from
Like
like
he didn't.
he came from nothing in South Florida, so that actually adds
Yeah.
up too. Yeah.
And he didn't make that much. I mean, he made a lot of money, like in reality, but like with compared to like what he spent, like what we know, like it it doesn't all add up. He's not like wealthy. Like he's like pro athlete for a few years wealthy. Like he
Yeah.
didn't sign a $300 million contract anywhere.
He was truly, that's what's crazy too. He's truly a dominant wide receiver. That guy caught everything fucking in his area, like always, like unbelievable catches.
Little tiny guy too, like not
Yeah.
very big.
Like just
But
monster.
also, like, I would be like, he does the CTE thing. His dad is also a lunatic too, I believe, and like his dad's like the most dominant arena football wide receiver of all time.
I love that though. Yeah.
But
No,
like,
he's-
I think his dad was like kind of the same way. Like, and he never even got a shot in the NFL because he was such a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for 100%. I mean, I think he's funny. I wish him well, dude. At one time, I remember when he was like after he took his shirt off, and ran out at the Bucks game or whatever. And he was like,
Yeah.
they took him off the team. He was on Snapchat, like publicly snapping, like chicks sucking his dick and stuff. Like the dude is fucking nuts. Like, and he's legitimately funny, but golly,
Oh yeah, no,
I didn't
absolutely.
even hear that, dude. Like,
There was also like right around that same time, there was a video where like he was fighting with some woman. He had like these bags of like gummy penises, like they were like the novelty gifting. He was like
Of course.
throwing the bags.
Of
He was
course.
throwing these bags of dicks at this woman on his like snap or something, and I was like, jeez, he got in trouble for that one. Cops showed up. I don't know. It was just wild, but that was right around after he quit the NFL, basically, because it was all over after the Tampa Bay thing.
shout out AB. Wow, what a mess. But I got one more
Yeah.
thing actually. Now that we're talking about that, I forgot. One of the last segments here. Did you see this FanDuel terms of service?
I haven't opened that app in like 3 months.
Well, I'm a bit of a gambler at times. I've actually not gambled in months. It's been great. Like I've not since March Madness. I would like, and then I'm gonna stick to what I know. Basically, just March Madness, NFL. Now I used to try to play the numbers because I'm a numbers guy and whatnot, but it just doesn't fucking unless you
Nice.
sit all day. It doesn't work. But the point being, there was this huge controversy in the last 48 hours. I retweeted Always Be Cashing with Tommy, who's one of the best bettors in the world. It really is good. Tommy G cashing. And you can check my feed. But he was ranting on this, but he's right. So from years ago, FanDuel had a terms of service thing. And it's been buried. It's like the Patriot Act. Like no one ever fucking used this before, but there's a line in their terms of service, this is FanDuel only, where there's all these Discord bets, and you see all these people posting their bets, and you could tail my bet and whatever.
Right.
So it says if you're in an organized group, or we think you're tailing, or there's a group bet, you can't
They can void the bet.
collaborate now. You can't collaborate now. We can cancel that bet at any time. And the reason this just came up in the last 36 hours is the day before last, one of these fucking Discords had like a 4 or 5 leg home run parlay that hit. And there was like thousands of people that hit. Like,
Yeah.
so the books lost like hundreds of millions. Like it was like 100 million. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They reported that like Pennsylvania alone lost like 10 million or something, but you got to think 48.
Did they void the bet?
Well, no, they did, but now they're going to start doing that. But it's like,
Yeah, going forward.
But when you're Discord, so all the Discord and the tail my bet, that's all the rage. Fucking, you see it everywhere. I see them everywhere, and I've done it, and I get it. We used to put our bets out, right? But they'll take your money when you lose, but now they're going to start like enforcing it when you win.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's this Discord bet that hit for big money. This violates the terms of service. Fuck you. We're going to like cancel it all and divvy like one winner amongst all the people. But they don't like write it off when there's 10,000 people in the Discord that fucking lose that bet. They'll take that.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely.
They
They should treat it that way.
And it just became this huge. It just blew up. This fucking FanDuel terms of service in the last 48 hours. Like, and go ahead. I'm sorry. It's something. No, it's just something that it's been in our lane before, and we've done betting. We've talked to Hoodie, and a lot of guys. Don used to bet with us. I know. And the point being, the other terrible casino at this is BetMGM. If you look, and I've had issues with BetMGM. BetMGM was notorious for canceling big bets like that one. Like some guy hits a 10 leg fucking touchdown parlay for like $1 million, and they'd be like, sorry, the book never should have booked that bet. We'll pay you out a little bit, and like go fuck off. So BetMGM, you can look this up. Allegedly, don't come after me, BetMGM allegedly, but like look it up on X. You can see guys that have had big bets, big wins canceled with BetMGM. But anyways, now FanDuel got clipped hard the other fucking day with this Discord, and all of a sudden this terms of service thing became a rage in the last 36 hours, dude. And I was just sitting there like, it's bringing it back around to what we always talk about. It's very much equivalent to like the AMC trade during the fucking COVID when the apes actually had the shorts pinned, and the broker dealers changed the rules and said you can't fucking buy, you can only sell, and then they crashed the price to let the shorts out because retail had actually won. It's very much the same thing. Like heads I win, tails you lose. Like we'll take your money when you guys all fucking lose, but now when we win, we're just letting you know here in terms of service, we're probably just going to avoid this shit because we don't want to get clipped for 100 million again by having a big winner go viral. So
it's not
be
rigged
careful
enough
out there.
As it is.
Be careful out there with your bets. Yeah, it's fucking casino.
The house advantage isn't big enough.
It's like when you're hot at the blackjack table and they kick you out for counting cards, dude.
I only get kicked out of casinos for being drunk and obnoxious. That's the reason why I get kicked out. So
that's why we love you.
One last thing before we end. Did you see Mick was on with Alex Stein?
I fucking have not got to watch it yet. I did see
I haven't seen it yet either, but I will. I'm happy for Mick.
Good for Mick. Alex Stein is a fucking trip.
Primetime 69, Alex Stein and Mick. Good combo, by the way.
That's what everybody should watch when they're done watching this, because I'm going to also.
Yeah, actually, I think that's about it for me, man. I'm getting pretty sleepy. I'm with sleeping it too, man. Like a lot lately. Oh, my dad tore his Achilles. Did I tell you that?
What? No.
Yeah, yesterday, like I did lingering with Luke yesterday, and like I checked my phone afterwards. I got done at 9:50, and my mom texted me. She's like, "Hey, your dad tore his Achilles," and then she texted me again, like, and she was like, "Oh, I see you're live on X." She's like, "It's all good." Like, our friend Steve brought her some crutches and whatever, and like we're gonna go to the hospital or the doctor in the morning. Like, yeah, he went today and like got it all, like the process started, and like, yeah, it was a tear. Like,
well, that's terrible.
Tore the ACL, or not the ACL,
it's
the
tough when you're
Achilles.
Older.
Yeah, and he's like 6'5", so it's like fuck. But I think it's all good. Like the ammo boot, I guess, is pretty good. Like you can get around a little bit, with the boot. So it all seems to be pretty good. But he's got to have like an MRI. He's got to get that all done, and then he's got to have surgery. So he'll be gone for a while. But he's worked at the same place for like 30, longer than I've been alive. So he's worked at this place probably like 35, 36 years. He has more like vacation accrued than like, you know what I mean? So, or not vacation, like sick time and all that. So he'll like, you don't have to worry about like any of that shit. So he just gets to get healthy. So that's pretty cool.
Well, hopefully they get him in quick and speedy recovery to your dad.
Yeah, and hopefully like doesn't hobble him too bad.
Get on the Aaron Rodgers program, But
yeah, he's like 60 or 61 now. So You know, like don't keep him down too long.
Sucks at that age,
It's a
man.
problem. Yeah. Achilles, the whole Achilles thing too, like just makes me go like, ugh. Like that's one of those injuries. I'm like, ugh. Just gives
You
you
see
the
the back of
heebie-jeebies.
the calf pop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just gross. It's
it's
just
like a
gross. It's
rubber band.
bad.
Fucking
And then I don't know about you,
yeah,
but like, remember Hostel? Like that was a huge movie, like in
yeah.
2003 or
Fucking razor
2004, and
blade
like,
in the back of the heel.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just bad, just bad. Like that one, like I was like, I would have been like 12 or 13 when I saw that, so that one like kind of really dug into my psyche. So I got like,
Yeah.
and then I saw like, I remember the clip when like Durant's tore his, and like you could visibly see it just go like a fucking rubber band, just. I'm like, so. All right, buddy. I appreciate you coming on. Great chatting with Chad. This is
Yeah,
probably like our
thanks a lot.
fifth or sixth. At some point, I got to organize the videos on the YouTube so they're like by series. Like, and people can like be like, yeah, I want to watch Chatting with Chad episode 1 through 4 or 5 or whatever we got.
As they should. It's an educational program, but again,
It is. Like, kind of builds on it.
speedy recovery to your dad, though, man. Give him our best.
Yeah, I appreciate that, buddy. All right,
right.
man. I'm going to give us
Well.
the video of us playing the disco stuff to lead us out, and I'll talk to you. I'll text you. See you, buddy.
See you guys.